Okay, so in this video I'm going to have a look at the Junior Certificate Higher Level Maths Paper 1 for 2018, and I'm going to have a look at question 5. So part A here asks us to work out the value of 3p minus 4t squared when p is 6 and t is 5. So let's do that. So we have 3p minus 4t squared. Well, all we've got to do is substitute in 6 for p and 5 for t. So we've got 3 times 6, which is p, minus 4 times 5, which we've got a square, which is t. So 3 6's here, 18. We've got a square here first, so it's 4 times 25. So we just end up with 18 minus 4 25's, which is 100. So that'll just give us minus 82. Okay, so that's part 1. So let's have a look at part 2 or part B here. We've got to multiply out and simplify this thing here. So let's just write it out again. We have 2x minus 3. We've got to multiply that by 4 minus 5x plus x squared. Now you can multiply this out by just taking the first term here, the 2x, and multiply that by this bracket, 4 minus 5x plus x squared. We've also got to multiply out this bracket by minus 3, so put the minus 3 here, and then we've got 4 minus 5x plus x squared. So we're just going to multiply these out. So 2x times 4 is 8x. 2x times minus, it's going to be minus, plus times minus is minus. 2 times 5, 10, and x times x is x squared. Here we've got a plus times plus, which is plus. 2 times 1, 2, and we've got an x times x squared, which is x cubed. Here we've got minus 12, minus minus is plus, 3 5's 15x, minus times plus is minus, and 3 times x squared is 3x squared. Okay, so we've got to simplify it as well, not just multiply it out, but we've got to simplify it as well. So we have, let's start with the highest power of x here, which is this one here. This is 2x cubed. So we'll just put that first. There are no other x cubed, so we can't add it to anything. Let's have a look at this here now. We've got a minus 10x minus 3x, so that'll give us minus 13 x squared, I should say. X squared and x squareds we can add. Next ones then, well, we've got this x here and we've got this x here, so we can add those. So we have plus 8 plus 15, that's plus 23x, and then finally we just have this minus 12, and that's it. That's multiplied out and simplified. There's nothing else we can do with this. Okay, so let's have a look at C then. Well, C is an expression here that we've got to factorize. So we have 10DE, we have a DF, we have a 5EF, and we have a 2D squared. Now the way you do this is called a group of 4 method of factorizing, because we've got 4 terms here. So we group them into pairs and we factorize them using common factor. So if we look at these two first, we have a common factor here, D, and a D here. So we could factorize this by taking D outside the bracket. But if you look here, we've got a 5 and a 2, which we can't factorize. We've got an E here, but no E here. And we've an F here, but we've no F here. We've a D here, no D here. So this we can do nothing with. Now, what we normally do in this situation is just move the terms around. So I'm going to switch these two terms around. So I'm going to take the 10DE first, then I'm going to write down the minus 5EF, then minus DF, and then plus 2D squared. All I've done is just switch these two around. Now I think you'll find they should factorize reasonably okay. So let's see, we have, with the numbers here, we got a 5 and a 10, so we can, highest common factor there is 5. We have a D but no D here. We have an E and an E, so we can take out E as well. We have an F here but no F here. So let's see, what do we need to do to this 5E to give us 10DE? Well, we need to multiply by 2D. 5 times 2 will give us 10, and E times D will give us DE. Now we need a minus here because this is plus. Plus times minus will give us minus. 5 times 1 will give us 5. We have an E here. So really all we got to do with this is multiply it by minus F. Okay, so what about here? Now just looking at it first, I'm going to take out, we have a D here and a D squared here. We've no F, so I'm going to take out minus D and see what happens. Well, what do I need to multiply minus D by to give me minus DF? Well, it would just be F. Minus D times F is minus DF. What would I multiply minus D by to give me plus 2D squared? Well, minus minus will give me plus. I need to have a 2 in there as well, and I need to multiply by D. So minus 2D times minus D will give me plus 2D squared. Now what you've got to ask yourself next is, do we have the same thing in both brackets here? Well, we have a 2D minus F here, and we have an F minus 2D here. So we almost have the same thing in both brackets, but the signs are different. We have a minus F here, we have a plus F here, we have a 2D here, and we have a minus 2D here. So the signs are wrong here. So what I'm going to do is leave the first one alone. We're just going to leave that as 2D minus F. And all you really got to do here is change this to a plus D. Now if you just work back to this line here, what would I need to multiply plus D by to give me a minus DF? Well, plus times minus will give me this minus here, and then I need to multiply by F. What do I need to multiply plus by to give me this plus here? Well, it'll be plus, and again it'll be 2D. So you can see all we've done here is change this sign to give us a plus, and it's resulted in the signs changing here as well. So now we have the same thing, exactly the same thing with the same signs in both brackets. So now we can factorize out. We can just write down what's in both brackets, 2D minus F. Effectively what we're doing here is factorizing out 2D minus F. And then we're left with these two here then, 5E plus D, these two here. And that's it. That's our answer to that question. Okay, so let's move on. Is there another part here, or is that it? I think that may be it. Yep, just 3 parts. So that's it for question 5.